They said, fight a real boxer. They said, fight someone your size. They said, fight a world champion. We looked at a long list of supposed fighters for me to fight.
Yeah. Good. Right hand. Good. Right hand. Good. Right hand. That's the shot. See? If he comes in there, that's it over. You see what I mean? You don't have to do that or come out. Just boom, drop the chin. Good. Left hook high now and then just roll my right hook. Good. Too low.
He was that, oh, this happened, that happened. So it's the name of my career is criticizing me and then making excuses after I do the impossible or no way it's gonna happen.
With 4 weeks left before Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua step into the ring, both fighters are training at full intensity. Jake is pushing through tough workouts and hard sparring, treating this like the biggest challenge of his career. Joshua looks sharp and powerful, showing he is not taking Jake lightly. Both men are showing discipline, focus, and serious.
That's good. Don't look for nothing. Now step around him. Upper body. Keep a rhythm now. Keep a rhythm. Don't wait on him. Now you're waiting on him, mate.
The boxing world is full of non-stop predictions as the Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua fight gets closer. Joey Knight issued one of the strongest warnings yet. He says Jake took this fight mainly for huge publicity, viral attention, and global hype. Jake understands the business side well. This fight brings massive money, but Joey believes Jake has gone too far just for profit. Facing someone as dangerous as Joshua is nothing like his past opponents. Joshua is a true heavyweight, with knockout power that can change a career instantly. Joey warned that if Jake gets badly hurt, the fame and
maybe not as much as the Anthony Joshua fight, but a lot of cash, and can still have a serious chance of going on to earn even more paydays. Whereas the damage that it could do to his body could be irreversible for that opportunity to earn money in a boxing career going forward. So is this the retirement bag? Or do you actually think you can win? Because I read a study recently, and I believe it said something along the lines of men overemphasize or overcalculate their ability to fight by about 500 times. And I'm saying Jake Paul would probably need to be 500 times better to stand a chance against Anthony Joshua. And I can't get how he doesn't already know this. Surely he has sparred with heavyweights. Surely the recent sparring that he had with the likes of Shakur Stevenson and with the likes of Ray Ford, amongst others, Badu Jack, surely that would have taught you that there are levels to boxing. And if these small guys are able to show you things that you had no idea that you were vulnerable to in a boxing ring, what happens when someone who hits 4, 5, 6 times as hard as that does the exact same thing to you and lands it on your chin? The whole reason of why I know where I am in the influencer boxing scene, in the misfit scene, is because of the level that I have sparred at. I've sparred boys that have gone on to box for world titles. I've sparred with English champions and I've sparred with loads of Southern area champions. And doing that enabled me to understand what level I can reach in boxing and what level I can't reach. And some people might say, well, Jake Paul's clearly more ambitious than you. There's no reason for him to be, because he's not a better pound-for-pound boxer than me. So there really is no reason. And that really does make me think that one of two things have happened. Jake Paul has never, ever had serious elite sparring anywhere.
Analysts Adam Catterall and Nick Pete say the difference between the two fighters is enormous. Joshua is too big, too strong, and far too experienced. They expect the fight to look one-sided, almost like a sparring session. According to them, Joshua will control every second. The size gap is huge, the power gap is bigger, and the experience level isn't close. They believe this fight only exists because Jake wanted it. Joshua has nothing to prove, nothing to gain, and nothing he needs from this matchup. It's business, not true competition.
Domestic rankings in America, and he might even make top 50. He might make top 50. If you pick him right, great. But if you put him in with meritocracy and put him in rankings and actually make him fight the number 49 guy in America or try and climb up, he's going to get found out because he's a nutter novice. Now, I speak from experience here. I did an exhibition bout with Shane Neary, a former world champion, and I was fucking 2 or 3 stone bigger than him. I was 5 inches bigger than him, very similar to AJ and Jake Paul. And I was a novice. I'd boxed, sparred and moved around my whole life, but I'd never been in a competitive fight. And we did it for charity. And we did 3 rounds. And at the end of it, I realised, and I knew it going in, that Shane Neary controlled pretty much every second of those 3 minutes. Pretty much every second he controlled. He put the pressure on me in 1 round, he hit me with the body shot in the 2nd round, and he caught everything I threw at him in the 3rd round when he said, go on, try and knock me out. Caught everything. And, you know, in a similar vein, Anthony Joshua controls every second of this fight that he wants to control, because he comes from a certain level of stock that Jake Paul can't shortcut his way to. This fight is happening because Jake Paul sees the name Anthony Joshua and has probably gone. It's that conversation in the schoolyard, isn't it? What would you do for what would you do for $1 million? What would you do for 2 million? What would you do for 10 million? What would you do for 100 million? Would you let Anthony Joshua punch you in the face for 100 million notes? Yeah, I fucking would. Absolutely, AJ. Step up, mate. Take your best shot. Wake me up in the hospital. Cha-ching. Isn't Jake Paul doing the same thing? Getting 100 million quid off Netflix to let Anthony Joshua punch him in the face?
Right. Apart from whatever it is, 50, 60, 70 million, whatever the figure is for Anthony Joshua.
Wade from the Wade Concept explains why the matchup makes no sense. He says Jake Paul doesn't have the experience, timing, chin, or power to face someone like Anthony Joshua. Joshua has fought world champions and heavy punchers. Jake has never fought anyone near that level. Wade says confidence won't change the reality. The skill gap is too big. Trying to surprise Joshua won't work because Joshua has seen every style. Wade also says the promotion feels forced. The fight exists for attention, not logic.
Ego, whatever is making Jake take this fight. And I don't think it's healthy for him at all. I think this is going to be one-way traffic. I think AJ is going to hurt him very badly. And speaking of the insanity of this thing, here is what the first line is. Jake as a plus 800. I have a feeling that's going to shift even more toward AJ at minus 1,500, because again, how could you even see Jake winning this fight? Where is the possibility for Jake to actually get it done? I mean, look at this picture from them playing paintball a couple of years ago, I guess, or I don't know if it was paintball, but some sort of airsoft like gunfighting. But look at the difference in the size. And I get it, you know, size doesn't just win fights, but AJ doesn't just have the size. He is more experienced at the highest level. He has fought guys that are smaller than him and are more experienced and better than Jake is. Again, Alexander Usyk twice. What better experience? I know Usyk is southpaw, but what better experience to get you prepared to fight a smaller guy than to fight the best, smallest guy coming up to heavyweight in Usyk that you could find? And yes, AJ is plotty and he's maybe a little stiff, and maybe his chin is not what it used to be, but that's still Anthony Joshua. So Nikisa Badarian did an interview with Sky Sports, Jake Paul's manager and co-founder of MVP. He had some things to say about the fight. Obviously, they're going to do a massive press tour around this thing. Let's take a look and listen at why Nikisa, maybe a hot take, says that Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua is more winnable for Jake Paul than Gervonta Davis would have been.
How dangerous is this for Paul?
This is a more dangerous fight than Gervonta Tank Davis, but it's a more winnable fight than Gervonta Tank Davis. Gervonta was small, fast, super skilled.
That is a fucking hot take. That's I don't know if that's crazy, but it's a hot take. Let's hear his reasoning.
Gervonta was small, fast, super skilled. Joshua is big, heavy puncher, but not as evasive. So I think if Jake has the right game plan, he has a pretty good shot of winning this fight.
That's crazy. Now, first off, you know, a winnable fight with Gervonta Davis, it was an exhibition. So, you know, wins and losses, we weren't really going to be able to count there. But saying that it is a risky but more winnable fight, it's so hard to get on board with even the thought of Jake winning this. Like, there's only really, I think, 1, maybe 2 avenues where Jake possibly can in some way win it. But when Nikisa says it's a more dangerous but also more winnable, the only thing my mind jumps to is Jake is going to have to stand in front of Anthony Joshua, a literal destroyer at heavyweight, a literal one punch, send you to the hospital, potentially end your career puncher at heavyweight, and take the risk of eating that punch just to land a punch that potentially could knock AJ out. That is why the risk and reward factor, I have to think Nakisa's talking.
Professional boxer Lawrence Okoli adds another angle. He offered to help Jake Paul prepare, but says Joshua is not the type who always swings for a first-round knockout. Joshua usually fights smart and patient, studying his opponent. Even with that patience, Okoli says the mismatch is obvious. Jake would have to survive heavy shots and deal with pressure he's never experienced. Okoli says Jake's only hope is that Joshua takes his time, but even then, Joshua's natural strength is too much.
I'm very difficult to know. And then number two, it's like, I want him to feel what it's like to be in there with a big, strong, world-class heavyweight before the day, because I don't want him to get hit with the first jab and it's a whole new sensation. So, and you never know. You know, I think there's some game plans that he could cause a bit of trouble. Do you know what I mean? But
no, I'm gonna stop you.
I have to
No, you tell me now. Then Lawrence Okoli, former multi-time world champion. Right. I say it from serious because I think Jake is brilliant for the sport and what he's done for especially the women's game and what he is. I think he's fantastic and he's showing other boxers coming through. Look what I've got from this. So you tell me now, in terms of a game plan, what you think.
There's three I see. One of which is, bear in mind, AJ is not I'm gonna come out and get this over in one round kind of guy. He does do it, don't get me wrong, but that's based off of other people's work. So when you see AJ versus Ngannou and him were having a fight before AJ started landing the great right hands off of Ngannou going southpaw, I don't think AJ's first instinct is to go in and go double jump, uppercut, left hook to the butt and rip into people. He likes to box. He's a natural boxer. So I think he's gonna be just going through stuff. He hasn't been in the ring for over a year. He's gonna be, popping jabs.
TV personalities Jason Cundy and Jamie O'Hara take a more dramatic stance. They say the fight is dangerously unpredictable because the gap is so large. Their biggest concern is safety. They believe Joshua may be told to hold back so Jake doesn't get seriously injured. But even a controlled punch from a heavyweight can cause major damage to someone not used to that level of power. They even question if the fight should happen at all.
I don't know, mate.
I think it's dangerous.
Yeah,
I genuinely think it's dangerous.
Well, but that's
put in a world heavyweight champion.
But then the cynic,
at the top 4-5 fighters in the world.
Then the cynic in me tells me,
YouTuber who's never had a proper fight.
Right, the cynic in me straight away goes, I think AJ's probably going to be told, and I don't know this, don't go heavy on him the first round.
No, he can't afford to do that. Anthony Joshua can't afford to do that.
Okay, well, that's where I'm wrestling with my own mind right now. You asked me the question, how do I feel about it? I don't know what to make of it, mate. I seriously don't know what to make of it. I seriously don't.
I think it's a joke.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of it.
I'll watch it because...
I don't know whether I will, JJ. Honestly, I probably will close the vote. Right now, I don't know whether I will. I don't know whether I will, honestly. I didn't watch... Was it Jake Paul that fought... Who did he fight? Mayweather.
Tyson.
No, Mayweather. I didn't watch that. Who fought Mayweather? Oh, it was... I tell you it was... Who was the MMA fighter?
Logan Paul.
Logan Paul.
The one that you didn't know the name of, yeah. Logan
Paul, right?
He fought Floyd Mayweather.
I didn't watch that one either, right?
I know, but Jake Paul's got a bit more boxing credentials. He has. Because he...
What about McGregor? Who did McGregor fight? Did he fight someone? McGregor, have I made that up?
Yeah, I don't know. Where's your head at?
I don't know, mate. They all
it's all over the gaff. You gave Andy your number and you gave him the talk.
His name's Adam.
Adam, sorry. You gave Adam the number.
No.
You said 03717 22
I gave him the sports.
You gave him the sports number.
No, but I don't.
Get your head out.
No, I don't know. I don't know whether I will.
Analysts also discuss Joshua's mindset. They say Joshua is not treating this like a real competitive fight, and he shouldn't. When an elite heavyweight faces a beginner-level boxer, there is no pressure, but this creates another problem. If the fight lasts more than 2 rounds, Joshua will be criticized. Fans expect a fast finish for Jake. There's nothing to lose. Even if he's knocked out early, can still say he fought an Olympic gold medalist and former world champion.
Anthony Joshua's not taking this real, and he's not putting his best performance forward. That's the issue. The issue is Anthony's like, how much are you going to pay me? It's on Netflix. Hold up. I can fight this guy who, when I was an amateur teenager, I fought better guys. And I have how much weight on him? I can fight him for how much money? Dude, I'll beat him in my sleep. Correct. And you should. And it's such a disservice to the sport of boxing and to the actual fans of boxing if Anthony Joshua doesn't go out there and absolutely dominate Jake Paul. If it goes to decision, if it goes past 6 rounds, Houston, we have a problem. Boxing, we have a problem. And now, people are going, where's this energy with Gervonta Davis? Different. You're talking about a very, very small guy. I've worked with Gervonta. He's fucking tiny. And size can overshadow a lot of that stuff. I still think Gervonta should still win that fight. And the body shots, if he's taking it seriously, that should have got the job done. But obviously he has his legal issues and that went out the window. But when you're talking about an actual world-class heavyweight who went toe-to-toe with Klitschko, with fucking all these bad boys, if Anthony Joshua takes this serious, as he should, this shouldn't even be a competition, and it's brilliant. Because for Jake, okay, cool, man. Got knocked out by one of the best to ever do it, or got finished by one of the best to do it. At least I got in there. And I'm not even a heavyweight. I'm a cruiserweight at best. Either I'm too light in the ass for that. I should be fighting down. He's shooting for the moon. He's going to land on the stars. And just to be absolutely clear,
professional boxer. Liam Cameron talks about public expectations. Many fans believe Joshua will destroy Jake Paul Asili. Some even want to see it. Cameron says mismatches actually draw huge audiences, especially when a crossover star like Jake is involved. For most viewers, the real question isn't who will win, it's how long Jake can survive. The fight feels more like entertainment than real competition.
Like Jake Paul, AJ is going to do you a favour because he's going to flatten him. But big props to that Jake Paul for getting it ring with him. Listen to this, he's a multi-millionaire. Multi-millionaire. You don't have to box. And he's fighting him. He's either a madman or he knows something we don't know. But people like saying, oh, I won't take this Jake Paul fight. Listen, every boxer on the planet would fight Jake Paul for money. I'd fight Anthony Joshua for money. I'd get flattened, but I'd fight him. So yeah, I think people sometimes have to watch what they say and think about it. If I